Welcome back, baseball fans, the 1973 Winter Baseball Classic. We continue to the third round of the tournament. These are best of threes between the number 5 through 12 seeded teams. Teams that won or lost in the first two rounds, but weren't eliminated because I won one of those rounds. The middle group, well, we could take a look at that, I suppose, just real quickly before we get started here. We got these matchups right here. 12 at 5, 9 at 8, 11 at 6, 10 at 7. Sort of like a March Madness bracket. And today, it's Vancouver and Savannah is the matchup. But in game one that I've played, Savannah won that game. So we got a game two, and the team that's behind 0-1 gets to host game two. That's Vancouver. They win this game, they got to go back to Savannah. You know, one of the big fallacies of this tournament is that these cities are simply geographically impossible to do a commute for a little spring training series. Savannah, Georgia, to Vancouver Island, Victoria, the British seat of government there. Man, you'd need 2 planes, a train, an automobile, and a pack of Alaskan Malamutes to get from Savannah to Vancouver Island. So yeah, it's highly unlikely, but we have fun with it anyway. A lot of banter and so forth. Today for Savannah, who won the tournament a year ago, trying to win this one 2 straight, will be Tom Bradley, a player that was a White Sox, got traded in the offseason to the Seattle Mariners. And Vancouver Island has Fergie Jenkins on the mound. Fergie, I believe, actually is Canadian, is he not? Thought he was. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing up with somebody else. But anyway, Tom Bradley, Fergie Jenkins from Vancouver Isle. Double-decker buses and all that fun stuff up there in the land of Queen such and such. Let's get started. Leading off for Savannah is Lou Brock. 37 is a strikeout. Dave Cash, 65, rolls to second base. Jim Spencer, 45, flies center field. Bottom of 1, it's the Reverend Pat Kelly, 6'10". Homer, if you got power, it's a single. He doesn't have it. He's an ace stealer, though. You got a +1 arm. Sandy Alomar is going to hit and run. It's a hit and run single. They got runners on the corners for Jim Hickman. 33 right, be question mark. Kelly's going to tag up, and he scores. With 1 out, runner at first, it's Dick Allen. 54, skies a center X. Deep drive. Bobby Tolan got back on the warning track, makes the grab. And with 2 outs, it's Ben Ogilvy, 49, base hit and right. 2 on, 2 outs for Cesar Geronimo. 5-7 off Bradley. It's double 1 to 3. 2 base hit. And Vancouver takes the lead. 2-0. Second and third. Larry Boa pops to third base. All right, it's Larry Heisel, 2-5, short. Milt May, 1-2 lines are short. And John Ellis, 36, is a walk. Terry Crowley, 6'12", first C for the right fielder today. Bottom of the second, Johnny Edwards, 36, short. Celerino Sanchez, 69, triple 1 2, base hit. Back up top to the Reverend Pat Kelly. 37 is a K. Nice Chicago flavor out here in in Vancouver Island. We got Fergie Jenkins, Dick Allen, Pat Kelly from the Southsiders, Jim Hickman from the Northsiders. That's 4 Chicago area players. Sent to the deep Pacific Northwest, as it were. Sandy Alomar, 34, flies to right. Top of the third, it is Gene Tornado Alley, 58. Double 1 to 10, it's a base hit. Bobby Tolan of the Bells, 2-3, homer 1 to 17, it's gone. Bobby Tolan ties it with 1 swing. Savannah, I'm telling you, this particular town has won this tournament 4 times in the last 20 years, leading all franchises in Winter Baseball Classic championships. If they get a 5th, we're talking dynasty. The Spanish moss of Savannah. And no moss gathers on rolling moss, or however that expression is. No stone gathers no moss, or I don't know. Lou Brock, 110. He flies the center. Dave Cash, 58. Double 1 to 10, single. Jim Spencer, 2-9. Triple 1 to 8, single. Triple Jim Spencer on his own card. Jim, you had 5 triples. Man, I didn't know you could leg those out. 5 triples for Jim Spencer. Who would have thought? And Savannah takes the lead. Heisel, 2-4. Centerby, question mark. Spencer's going to tag up. If you could run out of triples, you could certainly tag up. From a ball hit the center field, he's safe. Milt May, 5-12. Bouncer to second. And Alomar makes the play. Not the best inning for Fergie Jenkins, letting his countrymen down. 4-2 Savannah, bottom of the third. Jim Hickman flies the center. Dick Allen, 45, second X. Dave Cash, 3-18. Makes the play. Ben Ogilvy, 3-6. Homer, 1-2. Double the rest. It's a 2. He got the homer. He had 2 of them in 1973 with a .218 batting average. Congratulations, Ben. Just cut the lead to 1. Cesar Geronimo. We got some fun names in this game today. Larry Boa, 45, rolls a second. We go to the fourth. Sean Ellis, 410, pops to first. Terry Crowley, 2-8, is a walk. Gene Alley, 47, is a strikeout. 2 outs. Tolan of the Bells, the big homer, last inning, he strikes out. You know, it's really interesting here. Each team has a former Cincinnati center fielder, Bobby Tolan and Cesar Geronimo. Well, guess what, folks? Tolan at 206 and Geronimo hit 210. So Cincinnati is going to look elsewhere for center field help. Actually, they're going to get Geronimo in 76 when he hits 300, but that's another subject for another day. Johnny Edwards, 310, and rolls a second. Celerino Sanchez. Boy, you got some great names. Chris Canizaro, Billy Canigliaro, Celerino Sanchez, Cesar Geronimo, Bell Biv DeVoe. Top of the order, Pat Kelly, 54. Third X. This is John Ellis at third base. That's not a good... That's an error. Yeah. Playing a little bit out of position. And Alomar, 1-9, walks. 2 on 2 outs for Jim Hickman. 46 is a K. 4-3 in the fifth. It's Lou Brock, 37. That is a strikeout. Dave Cash, 44, center X. If you're wondering why we're not seeing cards, you'll see them at the end of the video for these spring training games. You'll see 20 cards of the team that gets knocked out of the tournament, with evaluations of how they relate to the Summer Carryover League, which comes up later this month. 59 for Jim Spencer is triple 1 to 8 off of Fergie's card. What's going on? What in the name of Jim Spencer is going on? 2 triples and 3 at-bats. He's got some Hot Wheels on his feet. Larry Heisel, 5'11", short X. Bo is a 1-16, he makes the play. Well, they might regret leaving that runner on third. Bottom of the fifth, Dick Allen, 5'10", center B. Ogilvy, 64, pops short. And Geronimo strikes out. Top of the sixth. Milt May, 57 is a K. Sean Ellis, 110, short. And Terry Crowley, 111, is a pop to third base. Bottom of the sixth. Boa, 111, lines the third. Johnny Edwards, 1-7, flies the center. Celerino Sanchez, 39, is a single. Back up top to Pat Kelly. Having a nice day. Reached a couple times. 66, second X. Dave Cash, a 3-18. And he makes the play. 6 in the books. You've got both pitchers are starter 7s. We hook our starters in the tournament. We really want to get an evaluation of all pitchers, all players if we can, which means we like to roll through bullpens, but let these guys, they're both chasing a win here. Let's go, let them pitch the 7th. Gene Alley, 2-6 is a roller to short. Bobby Tolan of the Bells, 2-10, flies to right and back up top to Lou Brock. 1-6 is a K. Bring in some defense. Cito Gaston will take over in right field. Hector Torres will take over at shortstop. And Gene Alley will move over to third base. How do you like them apples? We got a 4-3 game. Bottom of the 7th. Vancouver Isle. You know, I picked a lot of these towns if just because they may have been places I visited, had some fond memories of, and mostly to randomize the the locations, to get them in, as far away from each other as possible, to cover as much territory as possible. So that's why we have a Halifax, Nova Scotia, we got a Mexico, we got Vancouver Island, and so forth. But the music we're listening to today is Lloyd Cole and the Commotions, debut LP. That year is wrong. This came out in 1980-81. Rattlesnakes, the brilliant debut of Lloyd Cole and the Commotions. Record is produced by Rick Ocasek, who was, of course, the head dude in The Cars, if you follow that sort of thing. Rattlesnake by Lloyd Cole and the Commotions. Back to the game, bottom of the 7th inning. Tom Bradley and Savannah, they got a 1-run lead. And he will continue. Sandy Alomar. 1-5 for Alomar is a grounder to second. Jim Hickman, 1-5 is a walk. And now Dick Allen becomes the lead run. You get a hold of one. Dick Allen. 6-10 off of Bradley's card. Just say it and speak it into existence. It's homer 1 of 15, double the rest, and it is gone! Dick Allen with a 2-run bomb! He's getting into his sweet MVP White Sox form a year after he won the MVP in 72. With a 73 card, 2-run homer, and Vancouver suddenly has a lead. An ejected Tom Bradley. He's trying to show the Seattle Mariners that they got a good pitcher, but it just didn't work out. Dick Allen hits the homer off his old teammate. And that'll do it for Tom Bradley. 6 1/3. Oh, you throw the gopher ball and the manager comes out just to embarrass you. That long walk. Like, come on, dude. Really? You could have pulled me a batter earlier, or you could have waited till I got out of the inning, but this is embarrassing. All right. Ron Schuler comes trotting out of the Savannah bullpen. Try and finish this inning. He'll face Ben Ogilvy. 49 is single on a 1 line out. And with 2 outs, it's Geronimo. 2-7 is a K. Well, Fergie taking off the hook for a loss after 4 runs in the second. I think you're thinking, normally I'd leave Fergie out there. He's a warhorse, but it's spring training. Let's let the bullpen figure this out. We'll go to a lefty first. We'll go to Steve Barber. Probably better in the 1960s than the 1970s was Barber. Still got some life left because he's a left-handed pitcher. We always cling to these guys for a very long time. We'll face Dave Cash leading off. 2-4s, liner to second. Jim Spencer with his 2 triples, and believe it or not, folks, he's not awful against lefties. He's reasonable, and he has a triple chance. So for my macabre interest, I'm going to see if I can have Jim Spencer leg out 3 triples in 6 innings. Here's the pitch to Jim Spencer. 2-10. No, it's a 6-11. Short X. And that is Boa 1E16. That's a black hole. Can't get on Larry Boa. Can't remember the last time Larry Boa made an error in Strat-O-Matic. Maybe 5 or 10 years ago, something like that. And with 2 outs, it's Larry Heisel. 68. Flies to left field. Nice inning for Steve Barbar. Bottom of the 8th, Ron Schuler will continue. Larry Boa, 37, is a roller the third. John Edwards, 5'11". Pitcher X, Schuler is an E7. That's a base hit off the Tunis. Celerino Sanchez strikes out. And with 2 outs, it's the Reverend Pat Kelly. 57 is a K. We'll go to the 9th. Any defense we can bring in? You know, it's the best they have is out there. So we're going to leave it alone. 5-4. Vancouver trying to even the series. You can let Barber pitch to the lefty leading off the inning. Then we're going to go to Justy. So here we are. Milt May leading off. 37 is a base hit. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter. And with that, we'll go to Dave Justy. Pittsburgh closer. Got a World Series ring with the Pirates in 71. Was awesome in 72. Still good in 73. Nice 3-year run as a closer for this dude. ZRA was below 2. Now it's 236. But still, it's a great card. We may or may not see it at the end of this video. So. All right. Runner at first, Milt May. And unfortunately, Hector Torres is the batter as a defensive replacement earlier. Probably shouldn't have done that when we had a few innings left and we now are trying to come back. Hector Torres does not have a hit on his card. So we're going to pinch hit another shortstop. Daryl Thomas for him. Daryl Thomas, runner at first. Here's the pitch to Daryl. 38 is a fly ball to right field. Terry Crowley. 33 lines the second, and with 2 outs, it's Gene Alley. 2-11, a liner to second base. Then we've got a split through 2 games. Nice comeback. Fergie will get the win. They rallied after he left, but in the bottom half of the inning, so he will get the W. Good for him. We'll take you to the box, look at some stats, give you the pitching matchup for the game 3. I'll play that, and I'll give you the eliminated team stats. Dave Justy gets a save in the 9th. Steve Barber gave up a hit in an inning and a batter. The victory goes to Fergie in 7 innings. Fergie, 5 hits and 4 runs. Really bad 4th inning was it. 2 walks, 6 Ks. Ron Schuler, nice job coming in. Making sure no more fireworks. Just a hit and 3 Ks for Ron Schuler. Not bad at all. Tom Bradley faded there in the 7th to Dick Allen. His former teammate knew it was coming. Got tipped off on the pitch. Gave up 9 hits and 5 runs. And 6 1/3. Pretty meh. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. 1019, 0108, 51046, 51046, 2626. And a game 2. And now, 3,000 more miles of traveling. Or maybe 4,000 more miles of traveling to go. The road-weary, jet-lagging Savannah and Vancouver Island squads. Back and forth for individual games. So much for an extended stay, as it were. More like the NBA, where they just fly to city after one game. Until recently. They've been having back-to-backs, I've noticed, in the NBA. All right, let's look at Vancouver first. After getting that win, in this tournament, they have a 5-5 record, hitting .261 with a .303 ERA. Those are all nice. Fergie's had 4 starts. He's given up 10 runs in 30 innings. He's ERA 3. He's right on. Justy's got 3 saves. All looks good on the pitching there. Not a lot of power. Nobody has more than a homer. We got 16 to Reverend Pat Kelly doing a great job leading off. For some reason, the White Sox, Kansas City, they both ignored Pat Kelly, left him a free agent. Milwaukee picked him up. I think Milwaukee let him go as a free agent. So Pat Kelly might be looking for work. He's a good player. 16 for 40 in the tournament for the Reverend. Let's look at Savannah now. They are 7-6. .256 with a .374 ERA. Tom Bradley's 1-3. 15 runs, 28 innings. Pretty mediocre. Al Downing, who was an undefeated starter on the Savannah championship team of a year ago. It's funny to say that. He's 3-0 this spring. 24 1/3 scoreless innings for Al Downing. He might have a 2-year spring training pitching streak. And the funniest part about all of this is that by the time the clock turns from March to April, as a Dodger, he's going to go down to Atlanta and throw up, you know what I'm talking about, he's going to throw up number 715 to a guy named Henry Aaron. That's right, folks. That's coming up on the schedule. 715th home run by Hank Aaron. A milestone there. Bob Gibson's 2-2. Hitting wise, Terry Crowley has 4 home runs in 13 games. How about those Jim Spencer triples? Well, he has 2, and those were it. Top hitter, you're looking at Dave Cash is 19 for 50, hitting 380. That's not bad at all. Lou Brock, 15 for 54 with 8 stolen bases in 13 games. Game 3 will be back in Savannah. If I had to handicap this, I got to go with a team that has that championship medal. They've been into a lot of these rodeos. You know, nothing new here. Vancouver will send Bob Moose. The Moose is on the loose. A former Pirate, Bob Moose, for Vancouver in Game 3. In South Carolina, they've already used Al Downing. That means it can only be Bob Gibson. And it is Bob Gibson versus Bob Moose. Game 3, winner take all. We'll give you the results of that and show you the eliminated team's stats, cards, and so forth. So stick around. Well, folks, the team that was eliminated is Vancouver Island. And the dream of Savannah's repeat continues. Savannah took Game 3 behind Bob Gibson pretty convincingly, 7-1. So we're going to take a look at Vancouver's players, see what happens next to these guys. The first look are cards that are already carrying on in our summer league in a different year of either 74 or 75, so we don't really need to do an analysis of Sandy Alomar or Larry Boa or Cesar Geronimo. You see what I mean? Yeah, he's not, that card wouldn't make it anyway. Pat Kelly and Fergie Jenkins, they're all safely, Jenkins still in the Cubs, they're all safely where they need to be. Randy Jones has a better card with the Padres. Okay. These are the cards under evaluation, the keepers. So this will probably be the Dick Allen card they take, the 73 card, the next best year after 72. Seems to make sense, just tick off year after year after year until he gets too old. But White Sox, more than likely, will make him their first round pick. And you have Johnny Edwards. He's Houston's left-handed hitting catcher with power, we like to call him. Not bad. Terry Harmon, a utility role with Philadelphia, but he's got a year where he hits 290 in the either 75 or 76. They won't take this one. Jim Barr has some nice ERAs for the Giants. This one's okay, but I think he's better in 74 and 75. Does pitch on 3 days rest, though. Sometimes, though, too many innings pitched means you don't pitch as effectively. So sometimes the guys who pitch that 180, 170 innings, often have better cards. So that's what they might do with them. Dave Justy, 3 straight great years as closer, from 71 to 73 with Pittsburgh. And they'll pick this card up, no questions asked. Steve Barber must be, how old is he? He's 35 years old. I believe he was with Baltimore in the 66 series, maybe? Anyway, 353 earned run average with the Angels. He's property of the St. Louis Cardinals right now. And as a lefty, they'll take this card. I mean, I know he's near the end, but for a left-handed reliever, that's more than enough. All right, now we got to look at guys who are put on waivers. Chris Cannizzaro, the Padres put on waivers. By the way, trivia question. Who was the San Diego Padres' first All-Star? Yep. Hard to believe, folks. Hard to believe. The Cubs put Hickman on waivers. And sadly, no more power against lefties. Plenty of on base, though. No defense. Power versus righties, not enough power with a fly out there. This is why the Cubs put him on waivers. They need more punch. He's decent, but he might find work. He might find work. I'm not going to write off Hickman yet. Here's a shocker. Bob Moose on waivers as a 25-year-old pitcher for the Pirates. Mostly because they just had too much talent in Pittsburgh and they couldn't keep everybody. And also, Moose's shelf life will fall off by the time he's 27, 28. He'll be out of the game. So, yeah, this is a good card. This is a card, this should be in the league. It would be a gross negligence if somebody did not pick up Bob Moose on 3 days rest with a 3.54 ERA. I mean, this guy pitched in the World Series 2 years ago. The Pirates win it. So Moose will be in the league. Pittsburgh, they have their phones open. They have a handshake agreement. Basically says, look, hey, if nobody claims you, which we doubt will happen, you can come back to Pittsburgh. Rorik Harrison sadly lost effectiveness once he left Baltimore after that brilliant 1972 card. They sent him to Atlanta in the big Davy Johnson trade. And the little tiny launching pad of Atlanta, he got shell-shocked. Never was really the same. 4.17 ERA, probably the second best year. Also played, I think, for the Expos for a few minutes. All right, we got guys on the undrafted free agent list. Billy Canigliaro has been out of baseball for a few years, making a comeback in 1973 with this outfield card. Not going to make it, just not good enough. But Ogilvy, he's still too green here. You don't want this one either. Let him get, needs more seasoning. Jim York, not a whole lot to say about this either. It's a 4.42 ERA, the Jag. And lastly, we actually have a player on the retired list, which is one step beyond the waivered list. There aren't a lot of guys on it, because most of the guys on the retired list, well, they're retired. And frankly, Sanchez isn't that bad to be on the retired list. It's a 219 hitter. Frankly, he's a 318 at third base with power versus lefties. It's not a good card at all. But, I mean, he's better than a lot of guys on the waiver list, and he's on the retired list. And that'll do it for this analysis of Vancouver. They just couldn't survive the travel. And they get to go back to Chile, British Columbia, Vancouver Island, world's largest billiard hall, I think is in Vancouver Island, Victoria, something like that. And that'll do it. Thanks for checking out the Winter Baseball Classic. We'll see you next time.